So Tom, a late call up for AFLX for yourself.
Yeah.
Happy to play, but I suppose downside is obviously Robbie's just kind of a bit of a need at the moment.
Yeah. So Rob's pretty close. He's I think that they just want to get a little bit more conditioning into him before he goes into sort of that game type. Especially against opposition, he's done a fair bit of match simulation out here. So obviously with Robbie going out, we needed someone else to go in, and certainly didn't get picked for me pace. I know that's it's a good concept, and obviously something that you can take all around the world, and I think most of the players are really looking forward to it, and it shows off our great game in a different concept.
Good news for you, obviously shoulder Rico again end of last season. It just shows that everyone that you're up and about and ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I'm much further in front of where I was this time last year. My shoulder, I've been in full contact now for 2 or 3 weeks, and been hit quite hard. Pep's got me the other day, blindsided me, and felt really good. So I passed the Sampower Pepper fitness test, and body feels good.
So why are you ahead of schedule?
I did get it done about a month earlier, but we've had no hiccups this time around. I felt like I got a couple of knocks early on it when I went back into that simulation last year, and didn't quite settle as well. And probably this year, knowing exactly what the rehab was right from the start. Obviously, the first time you go through it, you're not exactly sure. You're sort of being guided a little bit, but doing it 12 months ago, I sort of felt like I was ahead of the game, and knew exactly the markers that I had to hit before I got back out there.
Another one that's also ahead is Hamish Hartland. He seems to be tracking all good and all play.
Yeah, he's pretty close, I think. I'm not sure about whether he'll play this Friday or not. He started to join in a bit of match simulation, obviously with the pink hat, so no contact still, but he's getting close. We're pretty fit and healthy at the moment. Most of the guys are either competing pretty close to match simulation or thereabouts.
So you'll play this Friday?
Yeah, I'll play this Friday, yeah.
So how excited are you that you're up and about this time of year, given this injury last year? Probably wasn't the season that you would have loved. Yeah, I feel like individually I'm in a much better place than what I was last year to go out there and compete. I felt like I didn't have the impact that I wanted to last year. Obviously coming in a new environment, I feel like 12 months down the track, I know my teammates better, they know me better, they know the way I play, I know the way they play. Probably was a little bit tentative last year at times because I didn't want to step on the boys' toes coming in, like Ollie and guys like that. So I feel like we're much better positioned to give it a fair dinkum crack this year, and I feel like I'm in a much better position being in the system for 12 months, knowing the boys, but also confidence in the body. Completed pretty much all the pre-season, mind you, a little bit modified early because of the shoulder contact-wise, but done all the running and feel like I'm ready to go. And your role? More midfield time or a bit of forward?
Yeah, I've completed the whole pre-season through the midfield, so obviously it depends each game what that role is and varies, but I see myself playing majority as an inside midfielder.
With the new rules coming in, will this be a good chance for the club to trial a few different things with this intra-club trial coming up? Yeah,
I think so. Obviously the centre bounce one's probably the biggest one, and also the kick-in. So it'll be interesting to see how teams approach that, because you can get a little bit more depth, particularly from the kick-in. So I think we'll try a few different things. Obviously competing against each other, it's a good opportunity for us to try a few things, but I think we'll really see our benefits in the JLT later on. But it's a good chance to get the members and supporters out here, and I know they love turning up, and it's good to play in front of them and showcase what we've worked on all pre-season, and a good chance for us to give back to them guys and spend a bit of time with them post the game.
Well, how serious is Friday night? Do you approach it going third year, or are there going to be blokes going home?
I suppose it depends where you're at. I suppose if you're a little bit younger, you're probably going as hard as you can, and I suppose if you're a little bit older, you're still going out there and competing, and it's just to try and get that match fitness under your belt. So it's obviously a little bit different when you're playing against your own team, but I don't think there'll be any short steps taken out there or anything like that. So I think it'll be a fairly good hit out. We've been doing a fair bit of match simulation the last few weeks, and if you guys have seen any of that, there's some fairly big collisions in that, so I'd expect pretty similar things this Friday night.
Mate, what's your take on the captaincy scenario, whether it's go captain or one?
I'm not really one way or the other. I think the right decision will be made by the club, for the club, and whether that be one captain, two captains, three captains, I'm not sure what it's going to look like. We've started that process at the start of pre-season, and I think we're getting fairly close to a decision on that. I'm not really varied either way. I think as long as the captain or captains are the right people for the job and taking the football club in the right direction, I think that's the most important thing.
There's been a few players wear blue armbands during training sessions, including yourself. Is that like a leadership type thing? Or?
Yeah, I think so. There's been about 12 wear it throughout the pre-season, just give the opportunity to take control of the sessions and step up and run as much as you can and showcase your leadership skills throughout that. So I think the most pleasing thing is that everyone's sort of done that throughout the pre-season, whether they've had that armband on or not. But I suppose it's just a little reminder when you're out there that to make sure that you're at the forefront of your mind and leading to the best of your ability.
So guys like yourself and Mott's were sort of leading today's session. Is that what was happening out there?
Yeah, so we've had it for the last 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, it's just I suppose more a mental refresher for us to make sure that we sort of take control of the training session and so on. And I think it's important that we get more voices out there, because obviously once you start games, the coaches aren't out there, they can't direct you as well. So a big thing for us has been to work on that across the board, and we've had a really good pre-season with a number of programs that we've brought in, and it feels like we're progressing in the right way with more vocal people out on the track, which then translates to more efficient on-field performance.
Is that going to be important with the change of the runners rule this year, where runners can't be on the field as much?
Yeah, I think so. I think the ability to get a message from the bench down to you when you're on the interchange and then get it out there to filter it through each group is going to be important. So it's important that you can translate a message out there on the training track, but also once we move into the season, obviously the runner can't get out there and get things done, so it's important that we can get that done as players.
Tom Rees from Nine, just wondering, you've obviously been chatting to the players about the idea of a co-captaincy. What's the feel among the team about that coming through?
It hasn't really come up at all, to be honest. I think there's been more speculation outside, more around the co-captaincy or captain. As I said, the club will pick the best, and more so the playing group and coaching staff will pick the best person or people for that role. And I think we've said that throughout, whether it be one person, two people, whatever it ends up looking like. I think we're probably in a really good position that there is a multiple of people that can do that role. So we're looking forward to that. We're not really letting it dominate talk or anything like that. We're just going about our business and making sure that we're ready for round one.
Are you confident any one of those players being considered would be able to take on the role solo?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Your leadership group last year, obviously, you'd love to be in there again.
Yeah. I'm not sure how it's going to shape up. Whether I won't change anything I do, whether I'm in there or out of there. So it's not really going to affect me too much whether I have the title or not the title. I'm going to lead to the best of my ability and try and influence the group as best I can. So it'd be nice to have. If it doesn't happen that way, that's fine with me as well.
We're pretty close to games now. When do you expect a decision to be made about the captaincy?
I'm not sure on the exact date. I don't think it's too far away.
Was it tricky for you, Tom, last year from a leadership point of view? Skipper at Brisbane and always a real senior member there, coming in and trying to find your role in that space?
Yeah, a little bit. I think trying to find your feet, and it is interesting when you come in, you only sort of spend 3 or 4 months in the group, and then you're trying to find your feet, and then you start playing games. So it was, a tricky year on a number of fronts, but in saying that, we were in a really good position and we put ourselves in a really good position, and we sort of let ourselves down towards the back end of the year. But moving forward, I think we've had a really good pre-season, and the past is a past, and we're sort of living in the moment and living for the day. And I'm really excited for what 2019 holds for the Port Adelaide Football Club.
How much did the shoulder hamper you last year? Big factor?
Yes and no. I obviously popped it out again towards the back end of the season, but I had a few complaints during the back end of the pre-season that sort of just hampered me, and I wasn't quite ready to go come round one, and then sort of carried a little bit of a calf into the early part of the season. So won't be doing that again. It's just important that I go out there and play my role for the team, and I felt like I did that through the middle part of the year last year, and hopefully I can do that from round one this year.
Well, if you better talk about the back half of last season and the fade out, what was your take on it? Can you pinpoint what went wrong?
I think obviously teams, as the season goes on, they've got more research and evidence of how you play, and I think teams worked out how to defend us and slowed us right down, and we fell into the trap of trying to play a really slow brand of football that didn't really suit us. And I think if you've seen us throughout the pre-season, we've tried to play a lot more aggressive. We've had some new coaches come in with some fresh ideas, and I think you'll see a really exciting brand. And on Friday night, I think you'll showcase that a little bit, but obviously we have the under-23 game against the Crows, which you'll see a little bit, and then the 2 JLT games to hold us in good stead to move into the season.
You've always had a bunch of ideas about reducing congestion. What have you made the new rules?
I don't think it'll affect too much. Obviously, the centre square bounce will be a little bit different. There'll be a little bit more space, so you might see a little bit more scoring from centre square bounce. But I think once the centre bounce is over, you're going to still get that congestion, and teams are very good, and coaches, you got the 18 best coaches in the competition that work out strategies to be able to defend, because I don't think you want to turn it into an open game. And obviously we want to see scoring go up across the competition, and it is exciting. The most important thing is that we have close games, so I don't think it'll affect too much. You'll see little tinkers, and as I said, you might see a few more scores from centre square bounce, but I'm not sure the scoring is going to go from here to here overnight.
Awesome.
Thank you. Cheers.